Somewhere beyond the edge of the maps lie islands that shouldn't exist, places that appear and vanish, lands where compasses fail and stories end in silence. Tonight, we'll count down 15 islands. Humanity was never meant to find. Lean closer. Some of them are real, some are legend, but everyone hides something the world forgot. If you made it this far, you've already stepped into the dark with me. Subscribe, and let's keep exploring what the world tried to hide. With True World Chronicles 15, Hashima Island, Japan. Once home to thousands of coal miners, now abandoned concrete buildings crumble over a black sea. Locals call it Ghost Island. No birds land here, no plants grow. Some say the island is cursed, that the souls of the workers who died in the tunnels still walk the empty corridors at night. Locals say that when the sea is quiet, you can still hear the sound of machinery echoing from beneath the concrete. Though the tunnels have been flooded for decades, divers have reported whispers through their radios, faint voices calling from below the surface. Number 14, Pulau Ubin, Singapore. A quiet tropical island just off Singapore's mainland hides a chilling tale. Decades ago, a young German girl reportedly fell from a cliff to her death while fleeing soldiers during World War II. Locals say her restless spirit still walks the trails, white dress, bare feet, eyes full of sorrow. Hikers claim to hear footsteps following them, only to turn and find no one. Even Singapore's police have refused to investigate after dark. 13. Hart Island, New York, USA. Just a short ferry ride from the bustling city of New York lies an island of silence. Since the 1800s, over 1 million unclaimed bodies have been buried here, victims of disease, poverty, and tragedy. Workers who maintain the island say they've heard whispers coming from beneath the soil and seen ghostly figures standing by the mass graves. At night, they say the island breathes. Dead Man's Island, Canada. Once a burial ground in the late 1800s for prisoners, indigenous victims of conflict, and smallpox patients, Dead Man's Island has long carried a somber legacy. During low tide, early settlers reported seeing human bones protruding from the shoreline, a stark reminder of the island's past. Today, visitors describe an unsettling atmosphere. Low, mournful sounds drifting through the fog, and a shadow-like figure standing motionless by the water's edge, watching the lights of Vancouver across the harbor. Whether superstition or something more, the island retains an undeniable air of tragedy. 11. St. Helena Island, South Carolina. St. Helena Island is home to one of America's oldest and most enduring ghost legends, the Gray Man. For more than 2 centuries, witnesses have described a pale, mist-like figure walking the shoreline before devastating storms. In 1893, a couple reported seeing him shortly before a hurricane destroyed nearly everything on the island. Except their home, residents believe the Gray Man does not haunt to harm, but to warn. His silent presence is seen as a final message to flee before nature unleashes its worst. 10. Riddles Bay, Bermuda. Situated within the mysterious boundaries of the Bermuda Triangle, Riddles Bay has earned a reputation for unexplained disappearances and compass malfunctions that baffle even experienced sailors. Divers who explore the wrecks describe strange metallic echoes reverberating through the deep. One diver claimed he saw a man in an old naval uniform drifting between the sunken hulls, only for the figure to dissolve into the darkness. Whether caused by unusual geology or something otherworldly, Riddles Bay remains one of the Triangle's most enigmatic locations. 9. Ilha da Queimada Grande, Brazil, Snake Island. Closed to the public by the Brazilian government, Snake Island is home to thousands of golden lancehead vipers, among the world's most venomous snakes. While science explains their isolation as the result of rising sea levels, local lore tells a darker story. Early lighthouse keepers were said to have vanished under violent circumstances, leaving behind only blood-stained walls. Fishermen whisper that the snakes were placed there intentionally, guardians of an unknown secret buried deep within the island. Whether myth or warning, few dare venture close. 8. Ocracoke Island, North Carolina. Off the coast of North Carolina lies Ocracoke Island, the final battleground of the infamous pirate Blackbeard. After he was beheaded in 1718, sailors claimed his headless body swam around his ship before sinking beneath the waves. Centuries later, locals still report sightings of a lantern bobbing offshore during storms, followed by the sound of heavy footsteps trudging through the surf. Many believe it is Blackbeard himself, forever searching the waters for the head he lost. 7. Eilean Moor, Scotland. In 1900, 3 lighthouse keepers vanished from Eilean Moor under circumstances that remain unexplained. When relief crews arrived, they found the table set for an unfinished meal, the clocks stopped, and no sign of struggle. The final logbook entry read, "Storm ended, sea calm, God is over all." Despite extensive searches, the men were never found. To this day, locals claim that when the wind sweeps across the rocks just right, faint voices can be heard calling for help from a storm long since past. 6. Lazaretto Nuovo, Italy. For centuries, Lazaretto Nuovo served as a quarantine island during devastating plague outbreaks. Thousands were sent here to live out their final days. In the early 2000s, archaeologists unearthed a skull with a brick forced into its mouth, a ritual once used to prevent the dead from rising, dubbed the Vampire of Venice. After the discovery, workers refused to remain on the island after dark, claiming the atmosphere shifted from historic to deeply unsettling, as though the island itself remembered its past. 5. Palmyra Atoll, Pacific Ocean. Despite its pristine beauty, Palmyra Atoll holds a darker reputation. In 1974, sailors Mac and Muff Graham disappeared while anchored there. Years later, their burned vessel was discovered, and Muff's remains were found dismembered and concealed in a metal container washed ashore. Since that tragedy, visitors report hearing screams echoing from the dense jungle and sensing a pervasive feeling of being watched. Palmyra may appear untouched, but for many who venture there, it feels like an island unwilling to forget. 4. Isla de las Muñecas, Mexico, the Island of the Dolls. Hidden within the canals of Xochimilco lies an island adorned with hundreds of decaying dolls. Its caretaker, Don Julian Santana, began hanging them after discovering the body of a drowned girl nearby. He claimed the dolls whispered to him at night, their expressions changing with the moonlight. In 2001, Don Julian himself was found drowned in the very spot where the girl died. Visitors say the dolls seem to shift in the breeze, heads turning, eyes following, long after sunset. 3. Alcatraz Island, USA. Alcatraz is best known as the former escape-proof prison that housed some of America's most notorious criminals. But even the guards admitted that something else lurked within its concrete walls. Reports included echoing footsteps along empty corridors, sudden cold spots, and cell doors slamming without explanation. One inmate claimed a creature with glowing eyes tormented him through the night. By morning, he was dead, with deep marks around his throat. Whether psychological breakdown or something more, Alcatraz's reputation extends far beyond crime history. 2. Okunoshima, Japan, Rabbit Island. Today, Okunoshima is known for its population of friendly, free-roaming rabbits, but its past is far more sinister. During World War II, the island hosted a secret chemical weapons facility, so classified it was removed from official maps. Many workers disappeared after the war, their knowledge considered too dangerous. Locals say that at night the rabbits often freeze and stare toward the derelict factory buildings as if reacting to something unseen. The island may look peaceful, but its history casts a long shadow. 1. Poveglia Island, Italy. Poveglia is often called the most haunted island in the world. For centuries, it served as a quarantine zone where an estimated 160,000 plague victims were left to die. Later, it became an asylum known for its harsh treatments. Legend tells of a doctor who conducted cruel experiments until he was driven mad by the voices of his patients and leapt from the bell tower. Fishermen refuse to anchor near the island even today. When the lagoon winds rise, some swear they still hear the echoes of those who perished there.